So why the same conversation sounds smarter when men have it versus women? So we're going to talk about it today. My name is Peggy van der Plas. Welcome to the podcast. So it was party season. Happy New Year. And, I'm not a huge party person, to be honest, but some are fun. And, some, anyway, you cannot escape. So I had my fair share of that, like I'm sure you did as well. So I attended one of these events, a dinner party with assigned seating. So you're always praying you're sitting next to the right people. And the host is actually a fabulous entertainer, is one of my friends, and usually his friends slash contacts are, great people, interesting, stimulating. So, so far, so good. And we took our seat, and very quickly, the four ladies that were sitting next to me and in front of me started showcasing their purses. So, trying them on, admiring them, talking inventory. I also have two Dior's and two Louis Vuitton. One of them mentioned an Hermes Birkin croc bag she had her eye on, but explained that it wouldn't be appropriate for a representation job. Of course, neither the price tag nor the access required to get them seemed to be the issue. And then she made sure to highlight the obscure brand she was carrying, very expensive, very unknown, again, because appearances must be maintained. It went on, pictures were shown, Instagram accounts were pulled up. Anyway, and after a while, two of them, including the Hermes Croc lady, shifted gears and started going on and on about people they knew in common in the industry. In other words, gossip. So let me pause there for a second. So what are your thoughts listening to this story? Another bunch of entitled shallow women, typical feminine behavior showcasing purses and gossiping. How boring. Please sit me next to men next time. Their conversations are always so much more elevated. So be honest with yourself. You probably have, at least some version of these thoughts. Okay, you get them? Okay, good. So now let's rewind with one small change. Actually, the women were men and the purses were actually watches. But everything else is 100% accurate. Trying them on, showing pictures, pontificating about 250,000 watches as if it was nothing, gossiping about people in the industry. So now, pause again. What are your thoughts? Are you thinking another bunch of untitled shallow men, typical masculine behavior, showcasing watching and gossiping? How boring. Please sit me next to women next time. Their conversations are always so much more elevated. Well, I'm willing to bet that you don't, or at least you would have to force yourself to think that way. Not because of you in particular, but because of how we've been conditioned. Women are shallow fits, rather easily into our mental shortcuts, while men are shallow, doesn't fit that much. So that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. The exact same behavior seen as superficial when displayed by women is often not even frowned upon when displayed by men. In fact, it's actually frequently elevated. Interest in purse, superficial. Interest in watches, engineering, craftsmanship, technical mastery, gossiping about an industry, petty. Gossiping about an ecosystem, passion, access, insider knowledge. So, I have countless examples of this. I'm sure you do. The bad boss is a classical. If it's a woman bad boss, it's a proof that women are bad leaders. If it's a man bad boss, is merely insecure, is trying to be the smartest person in the room. It is quite easily dismayed. This mystery. And let's be honest about the language too. The words that are used for women are rarely kind. And by that, I mean all the panoply of B and C words coming usually when referring to women. And then there is the uncomfortable part. The framing happens regardless of who's judging. And what I mean by that is that women are actually just as prejudiced, conditioned, and intolerant than judging over women than men. You know, uh, it's not a gender thing. And they are as well as positively inclined and forgiving when judging men. Again, not a gender thing. Women and men are more tolerant for men, and women and men are more intolerant for women. That's what I've noticed, unfortunately, for a few decades now. And that is a massive challenge on many levels. And I would say the first is really about child rearing, when, upper middle class, educated adults, the type of people I hang out with, are completely oblivious, to their blind spots. This really become a societal issue. As I've heard people criticize the boys' club while in the same breath labeling a bully female boss as a bully, but excusing a bullying male boss as merely insecure. I was once told that my former male boss who pushed me to resign was a sweetheart. I'm not sure it would have been the same word if it had been a woman. And again, it has nothing to do with men versus women. That's not the point. It's not about lionizing women and bashing men. That's not the point I'm making. We're all human, we all make mistakes, some people are more aware than others, regardless of their gender. It has nothing to do with that. But as a society, our value framing all but guarantees many more generations of double standards, invalidation, limited opportunities for women. And that is true across countries, races, religions, sexual orientations, and so on. That is universal. And so, sorry, I'll ask you to do a simple exercise. Next time you catch yourself judging someone or a conversation, pause, change the gender, keep everything the same, keep the same behavior, and see how differently the story plays out in your head. And so I have a good recommendation if you're curious to explore this further. There is a movie I love, which is called I Am Not an Easy Man. It's a French movie on Netflix. It's obviously dubbed in English. Very, very good, very, very fun. And if you stop to think about the message, it's surprisingly deep, in addition of being very fun. So at least I really loved it. So thank you so much for being here with me again, Peggy van der Plash, and talk to you next week. Bye-bye.